Um, it says I'm live. It says I'm live, so I must be live. Okie dokie. Let's see how this thing here works. It's been so long since I went live. Um, and I'm assuming that at some point you guys are going to say hello in the chat so I can see what you're saying, right? So I've had a lot of people message me. If you guys haven't watched the channel yet, I've just started posting some of the podcast episodes, getting lots of interest. Okay, there are some people who are really like they really love the content. And then there are a few people who are really pissed off about it. Not my problem. Because they can choose not to watch, right? So um some people wanted me to be able to take questions, and I thought that I would actually bring someone on who is better at answering them, like people who are in the lifestyle for people who have questions about the lifestyle. And so I'm in the process of doing that. And what I need to know is how I go live and how I can see comments and stuff. But so far, I don't see any. So I don't know if you guys just aren't saying anything or it's not working. Oh, hello. Okay, so now you guys are talking to me. So I don't know if is it delayed or are you only now saying something because I said so. Jim, I am not in the lifestyle. Test, test, testing 1, 2. That fun-loving couple. I love it. You must be in the lifestyle. So this is what happened today, you guys. Okay. You're only now saying things. Love it. Thank you so much. So today I was supposed to interview um, an Asian female who's in the lifestyle. She and her husband are in the lifestyle. And after she scheduled it, she emailed me a ton of messages. Now, normally people like, yeah, okay, I'll talk to you. And then that's it. And then the day comes and we get on this little thingy here and we just talk. It's just fun conversation. I'm not here to make anyone look bad. I ask questions. Hello, Michael from Boston. But then she started asking me questions like, um, what are you going to ask me ahead of time? Okay. I never tell people what I'm going to ask ahead of time, but because I could tell she was a little nervous, I said, okay, well, I end up asking my guests a lot about, any fantasies they may have that they haven't fulfilled yet, or maybe the hottest, experience you've had. And I'll ask you about how you got it. So I coach her along, tell her that I'm going to be asking these things. And then she asks me, well, what's the hottest thing that you've heard? So I said, well, it's like different things are hot for different people, right? Uh, Paul David, wouldn't it be nice if only people who agreed with our program watch it? It's okay. I don't mind. I'm used to it. Honey, I was in news for 26 years. People complained and they still watched. So I'm okay. I'm okay with people not. And here's the thing, if you don't like it, it's fine. You don't have to agree with it. But gosh, some of these people, they get so mean. So anyway, a bunch of people think I'm going to hell. Oh, whatever. I'll see you down there. It's going to be a big party, by the way. A lot of cool people. And so I told this girl, I said, what's hot for some people may not be hot for others. I mean, that's the whole beauty of it. That's why I talk to different people, hear different stories, get different viewpoints. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. And I don't want her to feel like she's got to up anybody. I don't want her to feel like it. So I said, just tell your story. I'm just interested in your personal story. That's it. And then she canceled on me. Today was the day. And then she canceled on me. So I'd already had the time blocked out. And I got on Twitter because that's where all the freaks hang out, y'all. It's on Twitter. Actually, YouTube too, but Twitter is where all the freaks hang out. And I said, is there anyone available who could talk to me? Because I already have the time, carved out for this. And I got great responses. So today I interviewed a man who is into cuckolding, but very new in the lifestyle, like 3 months. Been married for 24 years, was a virgin when he got married, very religious. Not anymore. Fun conversation. He's a lawyer from Texas. Like, not the kind of guy where you would stereotypically look at him and say, "Oh, yeah, he's a cuck." No, fun. Jeffrey Searle, thank you so much. So look at all these comments. So I guess the thing to do would be to, like, read the comments and then respond to you maybe? So kinda like having a conversation? I've watched your show for a couple of days, loved your content and your voice. Why, thank you. Someone the other day said about my voice that I should do what are the 3 letters? It's the sleep tapes. What are they called? The 3 letters. When you talk and you try to get people to calm down and relax and listen to the sound of my voice. I want you to breathe. I the sleep ASMR? See, look, you guys are what does that stand for? ASMR. I love your content, but you really do sound like you're in the lifestyle. How? My voice? With the fact that I'm not judgmental? I need a co-host. For what? For the live or for my podcast? Oh, thanks, Sloppy. And crypto. Ooh, Crypto Insights Journal. I have a lot of crypto friends on Twitter. Guided meditation. So anyway, so thank you. Thank you for those comments about my voice. And John Penwin, Red Pill Passport Bro says that he likes what I'm doing. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. In fact, I think that there are a lot more people who appreciate it than people who don't. So I'm very happy about that. Mhm. This is my first live stream. Actually, I think I did one, like, years ago, I think. Um, and so there. So what I wanted to be able to do was set up a live where I could have someone who is experienced in the lifestyle answer some questions with someone who just wants to get in, and then really other people. Like we could be reading your comments, say, and answering questions. So I just don't know how many people would participate. I do know that there is one couple, very interested. They have a lot of questions, and I don't know the answers. So, mm, you know, have someone else talk to them, answer them. Okay, Michael from Boston. Hello. Hello, Michael. Thank you for your podcast. Do a great service for us that want communication. That what you do is not so odd. I'm telling people, um, there are more people in the lifestyle than most people realize. Okay. Now, the stuff that I have uploaded to my channel, I'm going backwards. Someone who pays attention may see that the numbers are getting smaller. That requires a little bit of critical thinking. Because the show is a podcast, it's audio only. I didn't even know that people would watch a non-video on YouTube. So thank you. And so because there's interest, I'm now uploading the shows. But in addition to doing that, I also have to do interviews, edit, and do the weekly show that I do, in addition to like real work on the other stuff. So that's why I'm trying to get them up. We have now 86 episodes. I don't even know how many I have on YouTube. So if you're listening to them, it may seem strange. It's like, How come now she's acting like she's never heard this before, but the last time I heard her, she was, throwing out cuck this and cuck that. It's because you're listening to them backwards. And then some people ask, "Hello, Sam from Greece." Um, Paul David is very curious, as are many, why I'm not in the lifestyle yet so interested in people who are. So let me tell you. After I got out of news, I knew that I wanted to still talk to people and I wanted it to be fun, right? Death and destruction, I've done that for 26 years daily. No more fun. Um, oops. Oh, what are all these thingies, the majiggers? These, uh, the naked person with all the emojis. Anyway, so I was just going to do a show about like and I did one. It was called Leyna Nguyen Unscripted. Talk to people, different things. And then I moved and I went on hiatus, which is like the death of a podcast is to take any time off. I only took 2 years off. And then I thought, so many people, I'm one of those people where my friends love to tell me their problems. They just do. Sometimes strangers, or like I just met an hour ago, suddenly telling me all their problems. So I had dinner with a friend and she tells me she's a swinger. And I'm like, what? Here's a person I thought I knew very well, actually. And I was like blown away. I was so curious. I'm like, what? Hmm. So we had a very fun conversation. And then I'm mentioning this conversation to another friend. And guess what he tells me? Oh, yeah, we've dabbled. I'm like, what? And then I find out that there's so many people in the lifestyle. To me, it is so intriguing. I remember watching a series on HBO back in the day because I'm old, y'all. Y'all, I am old. So I was watching HBO, a thing called Real Sex, and they always had these strange, weird, you know, programs on different sexual things. So it's very interesting. So that's why, because it's interesting. Yeah, it can be a little controversial, but to be able to do a bit of oh, make someone you trust a moderator so they can, time out bots and inappropriate comments. Oh, that's a great thank you. I don't know if we have any bots on here yet. I don't know what they look like, but thank you. So anyway, oh, Michael B. So I know that you say you're interested in getting the lifestyle and all that stuff. I can't tell you how many people message me and email me that very thing, and they want to know how do we get started. Well, so my second interview today was this beautiful. I wish I knew how to share. I don't think you can share screen unless I was on OBS. Talked to this woman today who is gorgeous. She's 34 years old, been in the lifestyle 10 years, and um, was a unicorn. Okay. She is now helping couples who want to get into the lifestyle, couples who are having issues, blah, blah, blah. So that episode is coming up on the 21st, y'all. Today's the 11th, so 10 more days. Now, that's great information. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. Here's another thing, and I apologize ahead of time. Sometimes I go off on tangents. Sometimes like right now, I'll read a comment, start to answer it, and then gosh darn it, I look down, I see another comment, and I hate ignoring people. I feel like I'm being rude if I don't like answer. Mm-hmm. Have I interviewed women who like to see their man with other women? Yes. Yes. So swingers have that, But this is super interesting. It is one of oh gosh darn it. I have to take this call. Hold on. Hello. Um, I don't know of a Zach. Is if they give another name, will you call me back? Because I do have a guest there right now, but that's not the name. Thank you. Bye. Okay. That's awkward. Sorry guys. What you're talking about is, I think, if you're asking about women who actually get turned on by watching their man with someone else, and they don't want any action themselves, it's the female cuckold. They're called cuck queens, spelled Quan, cuck queen. Very rare, very rare. And I did talk to one. So if you actually go find the podcast on Apple or wherever, or go to consentingadultsshow.com, you'll see that episode. And then when I finally have the time and when I catch up, you'll see that episode on YouTube. All right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, okay. Look at this. I don't know what's going on. A lot of stuff going on here. Lots of stuff going on. Um, NJ Profit, thank you for that. I'll have to think of that. So next time I do one of these thingies, live streams, um, I'll have to have someone moderate and help keep an eye on stuff. Paul David, back to your question. I'm just interested. Like who doesn't like talking about sex? It's just intriguing to me. It's so interesting to me. Now, I happen to think that because, especially in the beginning, because I didn't know much about it, I asked good questions. I asked the question that the person at home is wondering, right? Because very often, if you're talking to someone about something that you're very familiar with, you may not be asking the very basic questions because you already know what the answer is. And like you may not even think to ask that. Have you done an episode on male or female chastity? Not female chastity. A lot of my cuckold episodes do have male chastity. Someone recently contacted me, and I don't think they've scheduled it yet. And they both, wait, is it your name? So they both practice chastity. And apparently, like it's a kink, like it does it for some people. I'd love to know how and why. So yeah, we're gonna do one. What else? Yeah, so cuck queen, Quan. Which, by the way, so my whole question was, like, the first cuck queen I've talked to 2 on the program so far. Why is it spelled Quan and not Queen? Quean and not Queen. Do you guys know the answer? Anybody? Anybody? So let me tell you the answer. It goes back to, like, a long time ago. And it used to be to describe well, how did she say it? Like, wenches, like, like, did she say wench? Mm. But it goes back it's gonna be an awful history lesson because I don't remember now. It goes back to the day to describe women who were not very attractive to their husbands, I think is what she said. Now again, I'm just relaying information I got from a cuck queen. Q-U Queen. That kind of a cuck queen is actually a man. A man into, like, extreme sissification. Oh, mhm. Like, extreme sissification would be a cuck queen with 2 E's. A female who just likes watching her guy with someone else is cuck queen, Quean. Okay, students, can we all say cuck queen? It is interesting, and see, that's why I like talking about it. Because I'm actually learning something. Because what fun is talking about something if you're not learning something, right? It just like, to me, I have no desire unless, like, I have questions and I wanna know. So that is that. Cuck queen. You just taught me for sure. All right, Dr. Feelgood. Um, what else? Did I learn anything today? Mm. And then here's the other thing. So even if I've already heard something, what's interesting is that everybody's story is different, right? Like today, that lawyer that I talked to from Texas, man, if you guys saw him, he's he is like masculine. Okay, very good. You would not look at this guy, and I'm only saying this because I think a lot of people who are not familiar probably have seen it in porn. So, but when people say, "Oh yeah, he's a total cuck," what are they trying to say? He's a sissy, or he, looks like he can be totally overpowered, or whatever. This guy is not that. He is like hefty, like Texas cowboy, and he's a lawyer. And he's finding out that he's actually a cuck. I find that so intriguing. Hello, New Zealand in the house. Kiwi! That actually makes sense. The term size queen started off in the drag gay scene. I didn't know that. And, like, here's another thing. Like, if you go back to episode and oh, it is up. It's the episode on the Chinese hot wife. So when I talked to the Chinese hot wife, she told me she was a size queen and a queen of spades. I had no and now looking back, I should have known what size queen was, but I didn't. I certainly didn't know what queen of spades was, and so I learned something, right? I mean, how can you how can you not love that? Talking about sex, learning new things, and then the other thing is, even though I'm a very, traditional person, I have very traditional values. I was born in Vietnam, came here, dad military, very strict parents. So, personally, I do feel like men and women have different roles. It's the way I grew up. Judge me, I don't care. But I'm very tolerant. I'm very, like, I love learning new things. And man, even better if I don't agree with you, right? So, I mean, those are great conversations. BBC, another thing. It's so funny because the first time I talked to someone about BBC, the week before, I was actually on BBC as a guest contributor. So anyway, funny. Your hair is so beautiful. Oh, well, thank you. I make dark roots look good, man. And the beautiful okay, so this is totally, vain. What do you so one of the things about working in TV news is that if you wanted to change your hair color, change your hairstyle, even just wear it differently, curl, all of that stuff, like, you'd have to get it approved. I know it sounds awful. As a visual medium, blah, blah, blah. And so I could never, like, really drastically change my hair. Sometimes I just get this wild hair and, like, I'll see it on Facebook, and my girlfriend does hair, and she's not blonde, she's Vietnamese. And I feel like, "Oh my god, that would be fun!" Like, should I go get my hair blonde? Anyway, see? Another tangent. Sorry, guys. Another tangent. Oh, that naked person is a spam bot? Okay. So then I can click on the dots, and then I can just hide the user, right? Right? Okay. Done. Oh my god, that was easy. Will Hammond Jr. Steve Rupp asking, "Buy me a coffee. Is there a an option for a one-time donation?" Absolutely. Yes. Um, but it's called Buy Me Coffees. But instead of doing that, Steve, are you on Twitter? Because find me on Twitter. And on Twitter, a lot of content creators have this. I think Twitter calls it a tip jar. I hate. I whatever. It just. I'm sorry. It just. I still feel so uncomfortable with it. What people don't realize is that, like for instance, like this microphone. This microphone is a Sennheiser. They actually use it for filmmaking. A lot of the boom mics cost me over $1,000. Probably didn't need that, but when I first got into this, a friend of mine said, "Oh yeah, you have to get this." So I got it. Anyway, um, and then I have this. What is this? Oh my gosh, it's lights. It's a mixer. It's a Rodecaster. Okay, and so like equipment costs money. The time I put into this program, you guys, and the thing is, man, you better freaking love what you're doing because you're not actually making money. You're just it's fun. People really like the content. I enjoy doing it. So that's why I'm doing it. So when people like Steve say they want to make a donation, and it still makes me feel whatever, but it helps me keep the show going. Like I also have to pay for the platform and all this stuff. Anyway, enough about that. But yes, you can. And the reason why I went with Buy Me a Coffee instead of Patreon or whatever that other thing is called is that I just like the sound of that because I'm a huge coffee lover. So that people go on there and they're like, "I'm gonna buy Lena 5 coffees." Oh, awesome. I won't sleep tonight then. That's what that's for. Have you done any TV or movie voiceovers? I have. So when I was working at CBS, I wasn't really allowed to do anything other than be a newscaster. So I've done a lot of newscaster roles. Now, for you older folk out there, and when I say older, I mean my age, I was the resident newscaster for Pushing Daisies. I was the okay. Why is this person still on here when they should have been hidden already? It says hide user. Why are they still on? Okay. Apparently, I'm gonna have to do when I do these things. Apparently, I have to figure out how to like remove people and stuff. Or who wants to be my moderator? Just raise your hand or whatever. Block them. That's another thing. Here's another thing I didn't know about YouTube, you guys. So like, I'm okay with an F-bomb here and there. I'm not, like, I'm not uptight. That's fine. Like, in my normal life, I talk like that. What I don't like is when people don't agree and they start being really mean to other people. So that's why I clicked the thing that said something about filtering something. So when I first started posting content and some of these idiots would be using strong language in their comments, I guess YouTube automatically doesn't show their comment. And they got all mad saying that I was censoring them and muting them and whatever. And I wasn't. So, whatever. And here's another thing. This comes with age, but it also comes with retirement from the news industry. I used to be so concerned about what people think. And and I still am. Like, if you matter to me, if I know you, or if the point that you're making is really valid, I'll listen. But I eat trolls for lunch now, man. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like, and I have the freedom to do that now. Right? So, I am under no obligation to just turn the other cheek when you're being an ass. And I tell you, it's the biggest freedom ever. You want to talk about freedom of speech? When you were in the industry that I was in, there was no freedom of speech. I did the best that I could. And after being in the business for that long, it was getting harder and harder to be happy with what I was doing, which is why I got the heck out, right? But you guys have no idea. And then it just depends on your boss. Like, I got a new boss that kind of just had it out for me, and I would get in trouble for liking things. Or I posted that I went to this restaurant and they did such a great job. Oh my gosh, I caught hell for it because they saw it as an endorsement. And if it was across the board that way, great, fine, whatever. You own me. But some people were okay, you know. Oh, my outfit's from here. You can get it here. All right. So, anyway, so the me that you're getting now is the me after kind of being, I don't know. Am I jaded? Is that, I don't know if that's the word. I don't think I'm jaded. But I have found this new freedom in being able to block people, tell them off, tell them to go screw themselves. I really haven't had to do that too much. And there you go. So Red Pill just retired. Yeah, there is a real freedom, and honestly, for anyone who's newly retired, they know you're actually busier in retirement than when you were working, but you're so gosh darn happy because you get to do what you want to do. And so now I'm doing what I want to do. And that's right, Jim. I am done with the BS. I'm done with reading other people's words and scripts. I'm done with having to turn the other cheek because why? Yeah, I'll just let you, verbally abuse me and insult me and call me names, and I'm just gonna no. Mm-mm. So I can do that now. So that's the me that you're getting. I look much younger. Thank you. It's I don't know. It's an Asian thing. Have you seen that meme? Asian ladies, the way they age, like it goes from this and they're still sexy, 50, they're still, and then they're surrounded by children. And then bam, the dried apple and 3 feet shorter overnight. So so there. Preach enough of the hate and nonsense. No kidding. Hmm. How do you get your guests on your show? Do people just reach out to you and you hear their stories or what? Well, in the beginning, I was really concerned about how I'm gonna find these people. So let me tell you about the universe. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. I know some people just say that. I 110% believe that. And hold on. Hold on. Okay. And so, good or bad, like eventually everything always eventually works out for me. I am so fortunate. I am lucky, you guys. Gosh, I'm one lucky chick, right? So I retired in late 2018. Did some stuff in 2019. After you retire, you kind of you enjoy your freedom. I was like jumping for joy over like silly. Most people would think silly things like, I'll pick up the kids from school. Hey, can we go get frozen yogurt? Yeah, yeah, we can go get frozen yogurt. That to me was freaking awesome because before, no, I got to get you home because I got to get to work. And can you coach the volleyball team? Oh my god, I'd love to. S Stupid, silly stuff like that was so, so amazing and awesome to me. So, 2019 was all about that. And then guess what happened? The end of 2019, as you know, it started hitting the fan, right? So in 2020, companies started reaching out to me because they needed someone who could host things from home. So like right now, this is just, this is my room. But they'd send me a backdrop and I'd have professional looking and everything. And I'm so comfortable talking to just a camera because I've done it for 26 years. And then this whole new business created itself for me. And and I was able to work for companies like Allergan and Microsoft and Google. I was like, is this my life right now? Like the universe just handed stuff to me. I am so lucky. Of course, right now, I totally don't remember why I started going down this tangent. Um, oh, people, how do I find guests? So when I started doing this podcast, it was I talked to someone who introduced me to someone else, and I would be like begging them. I'm like, hey, you know, next time you go to the sex club, ba- literally, if you know anyone else in the lifestyle, please introduce me to them. And then I would really vet people because I'd have to bring them to my home. Like, I don't want no weird, strange people in my home. And so it was kind of friends of friends. And then everything shut down. And then people got used to doing this stuff, like talking over Zoom. And, you know, then it was okay to just talk and not be in person. And that was what made my podcast happen. I don't know how else I would do this. People have become so comfortable doing things remotely, that the universe also handed that to me. And then I had no idea Twitter was so freaky. Hello. I wasn't even using Twitter. Twitter to me was like, I don't it just doesn't make sense. Tweet. I'm a Facebook girl because I'm old. There is a freaky side of Twitter, you guys. And I'm sure they call it something. I don't know. I just call it freaky side of Twitter. That once people started hearing my podcast and it kind of like all of these people started reaching out to me. So then my fear of how do I find real people? They're coming out of the woodwork now. That's right. Knocking on wood on that one. Twitter is an adult site. So when I promote the show, and I don't do any paid ads. People, these forums and these groups talking about, "Oh, you gotta buy Facebook ads and Twitter ads and Instagram," whatever. I haven't spent a penny. I have not spent a penny on it because, 1, it's another thing that I have to learn, not gonna do it right now. Um, so, basically, it's when a new episode comes out, I tweet it. That's it, you guys. This, again, is how lucky I am. I think it's been you living right, and universe gives back to you. As you know, everyone and their mama got a podcast, right? Like, if you don't even have to have a microphone, actually. People do it on their phones now. Everyone and their mama can have a podcast. You could be sitting right now in your mama's basement wearing diapers because you're an adult and you're into that thing. It's called Adult Diaper Lover. ADL. Adult Diaper Lover. I think that's what it's called too. And put on a podcast. My point is, there are many, many podcasts. So you're just like a drop of water in the ocean when you start a new show. I am reading stories in these groups where people have been podcasting for 8 years. What? And they're still struggling to get 500 downloads. First of all, my hats to them for keeping it up, because mama ain't gonna do that. I just, man, but that is something, right? This program, and this is why I know that the content is good. It has grown so fast. I I don't even talk numbers because, 1, I'm not like a bragging person, and if I feel like it's gonna come off like a little egotistical, I just don't like it. Feels ewy to me, and I won't do it. The numbers that this program is doing are astronomical. Brag! I just bragged. And what that says to me is it's not just a show about sex. Anyone who thinks, "Oh, sex sells," wrong. That's not why this is doing so well. So, if you've been listening to consenting adults and all you're thinking is, "Oh, sex sells," you haven't been listening. These are really cool people I'm talking to, like normal people. They're your teachers and your nurses and your cop down the street and the postman. I mean, really normal people. And they're like sharing their stories and trusting me. And I know, okay, I'm going to sound corny here. I take that responsibility so seriously, you guys. When someone talks to me, when someone agrees to give me an interview, like, I'm not gonna hire a service, and people offered it to me to edit the episode. I must have full control because I feel a duty and obligation to keep that interview, keep that conversation as authentic as it can be, even though I've had to cut out half an hour of it. So when I cut out half an hour of a talk, and it's now just 20 minutes long or 25 minutes long, and the person who talked to me feels like, "Oh my god, that turned out so well." That to me is just like, that makes me feel so good, and it just to me, that's like payment, like, oh, I live for that. Um, so anyway, making an assumption here with the episodes counting down that you noted earlier, is this a limited time series for you? What do you mean? Like, ask me another question in another way so I can answer you. What do you mean limited time series for me? So, every week I produce a new episode. So normally, like, starting Thursday, I am so busy. And I release a new episode every Monday, okay? And then a year into my podcast, again, reading these forums and people like, "Oh, you gotta get on YouTube because it's a whole you can get new listeners in your podcast." Oh, okay. I had no idea that you freaks were out there and that you'd watch a non-video, but you are. So, here, I'm gonna pull it up right now, you guys. It is so amazing. Again, I don't mean to brag, don't mean to brag, okay? And I'm still trying to learn the difference, like, impressions versus views. I'm learning, but impressions are also very important because it's how, so this is in the last 90 days, and, let me see, does that last 90 days. Oh, is that backwards? Nearly 20,000,000, 20,000,000 impressions, and and it says 90 days only because it goes from 28 to 90. There's no in between. And the first day I started, really, putting these up there was January 8th, I believe. So now we hear we're March, so 2 months really. So it says 90 days, but really it's just 2 months. 20,000,000 impressions in 2 months. And as you know, or maybe you don't, I don't know. I didn't know. Like, there's a whole weird YouTube algorithm thingamajiggy. And if YouTube feels like there's interest in your content, it keeps on pushing it out there. That's what the impressions are, I think. Okay. Views. The last 2 months, nearly 1.7 views. Those are actual, like, click views, whatever, right? So what does that tell me? Well, it tells me that despite what people were saying about finding a new audience to pull them over to your podcast, no, you guys are actually listening to the podcast on YouTube. Great. Mama had to learn about the whole thumbnails thing. Right. And I'm doing all of this by myself. So I will make mistakes. Um, but I appreciate you guys encouraging me and sticking with me. Kind of tired of the cuckold theme. Curious about the foot fetish stuff. Don't really understand that one. Well, I don't either, but here's the thing about foot fetish. So some people, a lot of cucks have foot fetishes. It's a thing about being on the floor, kissing their women's feet, whatever. And then there are just the regular foot fetish things. I can only talk to people who will talk to me. So if you can find a person who will talk to me for 30 minutes, because you have to have at least probably a 30-minute conversation and then cut it down to a maybe 20-minute podcast. And that's a good full conversation. So if you know of anyone who can talk to me for 30 minutes about a foot fetish, bring it. Send them my way. I'd love to talk to them. Now the cuckold thing, it is, and again, I'm just finding this out. It is the most searched porn. And whenever there's a cuckold episode on my show, and now I'm hearing from other podcasters as well, downloads through the roof. There's a lot of interest. In January, they had Cuck Week, so I had released 3 in that week. They reached out to me. In fact, again, not bragging, and I don't know, may it sound silly to you. Some people were like, "Oh, we're so glad to have you as a," what did they call me? Oh gosh, what did they call me? Like a champion for cuckolds. I'm like, "Oh!" I don't know how that happened, but Thank you. Like, that made me feel good that here is a group of people who very often feel misunderstood and all that stuff, and, they feel like I'm that'd be my dog. So that's cool. Um, and again, because of the time and the very little time I have on posting this stuff, you will see that, it's all out of whack and whatever, so I'm sorry about that, and I don't know if there's any other way. So the only way that I knew how to do it was I started at 1, and then I went backwards so that this video can then point to the forward. So, like, if someone new would find a video, the next one would be the higher episode. Does that make sense? Some people listen to it on YouTube because the computer screen is, very nice. Love that. Why did I pick the subject? So, eventually, when I get all the way down to episode 1, do you guys know what episode I'm on right now? I think I just posted, like, whatever. So, episode 1 tells you how and why I got here. Please hit the like button, everyone. 200-watt studio? Right on. Thank you. Um, oh, I'm down to 32 already? Oh, wow. I went faster than but here's the thing. I don't remember the highest number episode, but so as I'm going down here, I'm also creating more the newer episodes on my podcast, the listening, the real live feed. And so now at some point I'm gonna have to go back and then start going up again. So, whatever. I can only do what I can do, right? Do you let them preview before you post? Do I let what preview before I post? The videos? I saw that. I'm not even sure what that is. Or no, was it Premiere? Or are you talking about okay, Jim, you're gonna have to like a full sentence. Full sentence. Was there one specific happening which brought you making podcasts on sex topic? No. I just people always tell okay. So when I was working in TV news, all my girlfriends would very often tell me about their dating stories and their relationship stuff. And it got to be a joke. And I called it going to the Lena Nguyen School of Dating because I'm kind of tough. you know, like I'm the friend who like if you say, "Do these jeans make my ass look fat?" and they do, I will say, "Yeah, they do." And sometimes they'll get mad at me. Whatever. I don't if you're going to ask for my opinion, I'm that person. Sorry. So then they called it the Lena Nguyen School of Dating because I'd be like this. I'd be like, well, what do you expect? Blank for the name. Of course he did that to you again. Like if you're gonna sleep with him the first, you really. So that's the friend I am. I give that kind of tough love, real what in my head, out my mouth talk. And so who doesn't like talking about relationships and sex? But if you're gonna do a show, and thank you for asking because now I remember why I was talking about the show. In podcasting, like everyone's got a show on there's a ton of shows on true crime. I love true crime. And there are some very well-produced true crime podcasts. And they got a team behind them. I don't. Like behind me, that's my doggy right here. You see, that's Quincy. He's like, gosh darn it, let me out of this room. So I ain't stupid. I don't jump into a sea of already established shows on what am I gonna add to that? Really not much. Okay. There are a ton of political shows. I'm so done with politics. Like I don't care. I don't care. Here's the other thing. If you agree with me, I still don't care. Like I don't want to hear it anymore. My last 2 years at CBS, oh, my f- I'm done. I don't want to hear any more about politics. I don't care. So I'm going to do a show on a subject that pretty much everyone's interested in. But because I'm not a sex therapist, I have no degree, that's not me. So I'm not going to do a show on that, right? What is my biggest talent is asking questions. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to try to get these stories out there. And I have found that even if you're not in the lifestyle, it's really interesting to listen to. And so if I can capture your attention and the attention of people who are in the lifestyle, liking to hear about other people's experiences, well, then now I'm getting an audience. Here's what I didn't know. I thought my idea was this would be. There are a ton of podcasts on the lifestyle. I didn't even know it was called the lifestyle. Ton of them. So this is what sets my show apart. I'm not in the lifestyle. I'm not another couple with the podcast talking about their exploits. It's different. And I'm talking to different people with different experiences, Some are cucks, some are cuck queens, some are bisexual, some are swingers, some are polyamorous. I get to talk to all of them. And there really isn't a show much like that out there. So that's why. Love can't wait. I love your podcast. Keep going. Thank you. I intend to keep going. At some point, I hope it'll be big enough that I may need help. I'm actually kind of finding like I need help now, but I can't afford to really pay anyone. So I do it all myself. The edited version. Okay, so I'm sorry, Jim. Do you let them preview before you post? Oh, do I let my guest preview the episode? No, never. Two things I never do. I never give questions before I ask them. And I never let anyone preview an edited version before I put it out. Because that's more work for me, one. But two, that's what I bring from my news background, right? Like I would never, if I do a news story on someone, one, and it's also against company policy, but I would never let anyone preview the story before it airs. So that's what I do now. This is my favorite YouTube channel, says Ryan. My girlfriend and I would be happy to talk to you about hot wifing in a few months. Yes. And oh, by the way, you guys, my spidey senses, I've gotten this good at recognizing who makes a good guest and who doesn't. Because trust me, once word got out there that I got this great podcast, people who their only goal is to get more at OnlyFans. Are they fans or subscribers or whatever they're called? All they want to do is promote their OnlyFans page. Honey, I can smell you a mile away, and no, you're not coming on my show. So I've always had this and here's the thing. I never talk to anyone on the phone before I actually interview them, ever. And just somehow with just the very brief interaction I have with these people on Twitter, like I can tell when someone is real and authentic versus someone who just wants to use me as a way to advertise their OnlyFans page. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll see in comments, Hidiao Queen Community Channel, she was my Chinese hot wife. She was my Chinese hot wife. my first Asian, interview, she's the one who taught me about what size queen was and what queen of spades was. I had no idea. Do I think that lifestyle is mostly escapism? Mostly? No, I don't. I've talked to enough people that I don't think that. Sorry, guys, hold on. The whole life thing. Um, what people and I think, it's easier for me to see because, like, I remember everyone I talk to, and I know what the full conversations are like, and I just it's different when you're just, listening to an episode here and there. The couples that I talk to have this thing, and it's beyond the communication that they have, and they have the best communication. Communication is everything, you guys, it really is. It's everything. When you are able to communicate with someone so freely, right? When you're not afraid to tell them exactly what's on your mind. When you are not afraid that you're gonna turn them off, when you're not afraid that, they're gonna leave you or they're gonna think you're weird, that brings you a level of intimacy most people don't have. I'm not sure I have that with my husband. And I have a great relationship with my husband. I'm it's my second marriage, and I'm so happy, and I used to think it was BS when people say that you don't argue. I'm like before when people told me, "Oh, we never argue." My first thing is, "Whatever. Okay." But we don't argue, and it's the greatest thing. And I know that there are people in relationships where it's so like lots of highs and lows. You know people like this, right? Lots of drama. But the highs are amazing, and then there are the lows. The reason why the highs are so amazing is because there are those lows. They're just roller coaster, and some people love that. I probably at some point in my life probably did too, right? But now that I see the other side of it, oh my god, there's something really cool about being in a really healthy, good relationship where you're just happy. I mean, content, like happy. And all the people I've talked to so far, they've got that. They're like, I mean, married for 25, 35 years. I don't even meet people like that anymore. Something there. So they're not really escaping anything. If that's what you meant by escapism. I don't know. Um, Listico, I do like your outsider's perspective on the subject. It's great to have that impression rather than the we all know what we're talking about. Yeah. How do you choose your guests? Okay, so on my website, consentingadultsshow.com. Adults with an S, consentingadultsshow.com. There is a contact form and people will write to me and they're they'll submit it. And I can normally tell I haven't turned a lot of people down. I can normally tell when I read those, whether they'd make a good guest or not. And sometimes it's just a few words. Some people write me like paragraphs or a book. And some people just, oh, we're into this and this and this. Awesome. That's how people uh, submit themselves. Submit to me. That's what I should have called the page. Um, and then people reach out to me on Twitter, which I love because I love being able to check out their profiles. And boy, that's a whole new thing too, though, you guys. It's a rabbit hole. It's like, oh, I'm gonna check this person out. Oh my God. Oh, but this is interesting. And then I click on that, and then 5 hours later, I don't know where I am anymore. Like, how did I get to this? Well, it's because 150 clicks later, but, that happens too. Wanna hot wife my wife. Well, yeah, talk to your wife first. Mhm. Gosh darn it, now I'm really hungry. Um, do you like to know the answer to a question before you ask it like a lawyer? Um, no, but no and yes and no. People sometimes will say, "Oh, can we get on the phone first and talk before the interview?" No. No, we can't. Because I want the conversation that you guys end up hearing is a real conversation. People have a way of remembering that they talked to you, right? It's the same thing when I was in news. I like when people say stuff like even little things like, "Well, as I told you." Just stop it, don't say that. Tell people you told me already? Tell me now. So no, I don't talk to people ahead of time. But if we're in an argument, David, was it David that asked? Yeah. Honey, I'm a woman. Of course, I know the answer before I ask the question. Hello? Okay, so that's your answer. Mhm. See, I see a lot of cuckolding comments, and I'm telling you, you guys, there's a lot more out there on that. So many people interested in that, which actually makes a lot of sense to me because a lot of these men in their day to day lives, confident, maybe big job, very respectful men who in the bedroom just want something different, right? And here's the other thing. Sometimes there is no why. I talked to a guest today and she was talking about that and I said, "Well, sometimes there is no why. There's no answer for that." And people very just all the time ask me, "Why are you doing a show on set?" It's interesting. Why do you find it so interesting? It just is. Dude, why do you like pasta, man? Right? Like, why do you like pasta? No, but why do you like pasta? And why do you like the red sauce more? So it's the same thing. Sometimes it just is. And I like to give a platform to people who they can tell me what turns them on. They don't have to, they don't actually have to tell me why, right? It makes sense to them. And sometimes they try. So, what people loved about Larry King was that he never researched a guest or did pre interviews. Larry was an interesting man. How many wives did he have? Like 5? Larry was interesting. Very nice guy, by the way. Super nice, at least to me. Um, who are these people calling me? Hmm, all right. Okay, that's it. So, would it be safe to say that when I see the comments die down, that this live stream has run its course, right? Um, you should have a show on Cinemax. Uh-huh. Of course. What would we call it? What would we call it, David? It's no longer Cinemax. It's Skinamax. Um, mm, mm, mm. Uh, Rondelay? Rondelay? It's going well because you ask perceptive questions. Well, thank you. Um, yeah. Here's another thing, you guys. Whoa. Clear gray sky says my hands are too busy to type. What are you doing? Are you kneading dough? Um, my Chinese hot wife says, "Have you ever thought about viewing a live lifestyle event and reporting on it with interviews with the participants?" A lot of people have actually suggested to me that I go to a sex club, and maybe one day I will. I mean, I think it would be cool. I would love to check one out. From everything that I've heard described so far, it sounds like a really cool, fun place that it's not like you don't feel like you have to do anything or participate, that you can just, you know, um, but like right now, just I'm good with interviewing people. More stories to be told. Uh, and I don't even know how many clubs are open again. I've heard some have shut down, right? Okay, clear gray skies, only making dinner. That's what they're calling it these days. Okay, so Ryan, go to my website and click on the contact form and talk to me that way. Okay, so it's consentingadultsshow.com. That's adults with an S. Otherwise, it's masturbating. About cuckolding, it's weird. It's often a white guy who want to be cucked by a black guy and not the opposite. Well, and like everything, there are things that are more prevalent than others, right? Your interview with your 3 friends would be good live stream guests. What 3 friends are you talking about? Oh, the girls, when I did the Love Over 40 thing? Mhm. Alright, alright. Well, so I do have a live stream plan, which is why I got on just to test it out here. And even though the person who has agreed to show their face with me is a cuckoldress, she's also versed in other things of the lifestyle. And I also have a couple who's interested in it. But it doesn't have to be that. Like, please join in when that happens, and you can ask lifestyle-ish questions that, would come answers would come from, well, I'll give you what I think, and then she'll give you the from experience type answers. You have such a lovely voice, very easy on the ears, almost penthouse forum. Well, speaking of penthouse forum, I've just set it up. I don't even know if I activate it or whatever. There's a thing called like you can become a member of this channel. So we have a thing called confessions. I call them confessing adults. Wow, that's genius. There are people who like won't come on as a guest, who have wild stories and sometimes just want to get something off their chest. So we have lots of confessions, and I'm only now starting to put them, hide that user, put them on YouTube. Uh, but it feels like softcore porn, you guys, because these confessions are porn. It's like ear porn. But I'm putting, I think I've put two up. Um, but these are confessions from real people. On the Buy Me a Coffee site, there are actually some real photos. And I don't think I can add them on YouTube. There's a thing about, like, nudity and stuff on YouTube, right? I'm assuming, but so there you go. You can also read, old confessions. I wonder if I still have them up on my website. But one of the things that, members on Buy Me a Coffee get is the weekly confessions, from people, and some other stuff. Alright. Seeing it happening in front of you will exceed your expectation. Seeing what like sex happening in front of me? Yeah, that probably would exceed my expectations. But right now I'm okay talking to people. And here's the thing, like, I kinda just I let my I let me lead myself. If something feels okay, I do it. If something feels like, "Oh, I don't know," I will take a step back, and I really need to think on something. Um, and there are just some things that, like, I'm not ready to, or I don't wanna go there yet. So that's that. Great podcast, and just now accessed your Way live stream. I have not figured out how to work it yet. Okay. Um, get to 69 likes. All right, let's do that. Ryan says Ron is right. I'm not sure what Ron said, but okay. I don't know what Ron said. Okay, you guys. So that's that. All right. Hello, Charles. Charles from Oklahoma. You have explored people's fantasies. What would your personal confession be? Peter, here's the thing. I know I'm going to get questions like that. People ask me all the time. Here's the other thing. Like, I'm so tired of explaining it. Like, people like, "Are you in the lifestyle?" "No, I'm not." Explain it. "You sure you're not in the lifestyle?" "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." "No, I think you're in the lifestyle, you just don't wanna tell us." I'm like, "No, it's just the way it is, y'all. I know some of you wish me to be, but I'm not." Although, I will tell you this, there's so much interest in having a consenting adults, um, event, like party, that I think that's gonna happen. And I think my former guests will absolutely be invited to this party. And obviously, I'm not going to be like selling tickets to the public. So just stick with me here. And I think we're going to be having a consenting adults event. All right. Now I know why a lot of lifestylers, their favorite holiday is Halloween. I wonder why. Peter, thank you very much. Okay. Y'all like that. Y'all like that idea, huh? It's now 4:30. And oh, so we've been live for one. Really? I've been talking by myself for an hour and 18 minutes. Wowzers. Jose wants to go. Um, okay. So just know that that's in the works. Okay. And again, if you want to be listening to the newest episodes and also the oldest, actually, because I haven't posted those on YouTube yet, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, anywhere or everywhere. Or my website, consentingadultsshow.com, consentingadultsshow.com. What else? I think that's about covers it, y'all. The other thing that I need to do, figure out is if I want to bring someone on the live stream with me, I have to do it through OBS, right? If anyone knows, let me know. Which will take some time and learning, whatever. And then I think there's a delay, which I hate. I hate delay. Jamie, it's gonna be a party, y'all. It's gonna be a party. And of course, only cool people can go. So that's another thing. All right. All right, you guys. Thanks for hanging with me. This was actually kind of fun. And I love connecting with you guys. And I wish I had more time to do this. So make sure that you're subscribing to the channel if you haven't. Although I don't know, like, is anyone here not a subscriber? Like, do only subscribers see that I went live? I don't know. StreamYard. Hmm. What? Oh yeah. So I do have old videos because I created the channel years ago, and those are just old videos. So like I don't know. I was also told like not to delete videos. So it really shouldn't bother people, right? But there are playlists. You guys can find those, right? You can go to the consenting adults playlist, right? Hello, Peter. Well, hello, Peter. Hello, Peter. No, I saw, and I'm not a subscriber yet. Keith Shrek. Shrek. Still pretty hot. Still pretty hot. And I'm really tired. So then if you're not a subscriber, I didn't realize that people who are not subscribers can also see this. So if you're not a subscriber, what the hell are you waiting for? Click that, that whole thing. Um, and really, I should have actually put out another episode, right? Let me tell you what the next episode is. So if the the other person was right in saying that the last episode that I posted on here was episode 32. Episode 32 was the Texas Swingers. One of my favorite couples. You guys, it's really amazing. Like I the coolest people. I've got some of the coolest people as guests on my show. I really adore them. They're just, he's got the southern drawl. He's from Texas. He's a cowboy and very easily says, I asked him, I said, well, would you ever let a guy blow you? And he was like, if he's clean shaven. Oh my God, I love this guy. All right. Ooh, so the next episode that I'm going to be posting on YouTube, it says Hot Wives. Is that the same one though? I don't know if I already did that one. Yeah. So it's about a hot wife. Let me see which one it is. Uh, um, mm, mm. Ooh, okay. See, this is a wonderful thing about this is I enjoy now because I'm working so hard. I don't really ever really get to listen to them. But the next one is on hot wives. And like before, I didn't. I'm like is it one word or two words. I still don't know actually. But so that's going to be the next episode that I post. Hot wives. Ooh, and sorry. And then the one after that, I think is it the swinging, married, and bisexual, I think. That was an eye opener. Um, and I love that people can be honest. There's still such a stigma against bisexual men in the lifestyle. I've really enjoyed my conversations with the men who are just honest and open and can talk to me very openly about being bisexual. He's not well, he looks to me like a golden retriever. All right. But I was told, so I rescued him, a actress friend of mine. She was the Tool Times girl on Home Improvement. Debbie Dunning. So Debbie Dunning went to La Paz, Mexico, and found some puppies on a ranch. abandoned. So she rescued, I think, 3 of them, including the one that looked like really needed help, and that would be Quincy. Hi, Quincy. Hi. Hey, you booger. Oh, see, look, what? You see, it looks like he's you see his thumb? Oh my god, you guys, you see his thumb? My doggy has a thumb. Oh, do miracles cease? I mean, look, he's got a thumb. Hi, honey. I love you. So his one leg is shorter than his other legs, and he has a thumb. Miracle dog. And so I rescued him. But they told me he was part shepherd, part collie. Mhm. He's so freaking smart and awesome. So we named him Quincy after the 6th president. Why? Because 'Cause he's got 6 toes. And one of them he uses like a thumb. It's a whole separate digit thing he's got going on. Every groomer or vet he's ever been to, they do this. They're like, "Oh, you're such a oh!" And then one time when he was a puppy, I walked him at the park in Studio City, Beeman Park, and there was this guy there, and I think maybe he was Russian or something. He's got that accent. And he said, "Why you not destroy him?" I'm sorry, what? And he's said it to us more than once that we should have had this lovely dog destroyed because he's different. Anyway, now he's pissed off because he's been locked in here all day with me. So that's that. Quincy, I've listened to other channels. Yours is the best. Ryan, you're like becoming like I'm becoming your fan now. Thank you. Texans are wild. Indeed, they are. Yeah. Um, Steve really liked episode 32. Listened to it together twice. That's the other thing, you guys. Like these shows are kind of fun to listen to, but if you're at all kind of like listen to it with someone you love. Mhm. And see what the reaction is like. I've had people tell me they used my podcast to kind of test the waters with their partner and are now in the lifestyle. Okay, don't blame me. Don't blame me. Not my fault. But you can thank me later if it turns out well. Okay. Uh, Now I've been live for 1 minute 28, an hour and 28 minutes. Who knew? You guys are the best. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to do another one. And if you're interested in those confessions, there's a membership thing that if you join, and it's so, like, to me, it's kind of so pornographic. And these are true stories that I just didn't, I just didn't feel comfortable making it public. But I think you're going to enjoy them. Again, don't blame me. Don't blame me. But you can thank me later. Okay. Bye, you guys. I'll let the dog out. I'm going to go let the dog out. Mwah. You guys are awesome. That was fun. It was fun. Quincy, that was fun.